Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global for June 22nd. And this week, joining me once again to discuss the news is StarUltros. So you can say hello again.
Hello, everyone. It's the world's most famous octopus for you today.
Indeed. So we've got a part two of the Type Zero event. Vermilion Class Zero Tray and Benevolent Beauty Rims Awakening. But we are missing Cater, the other unit for the banner. So before we get into the units we are going to get, what do you think about them just skipping or delaying Cater, Ultros?
I think it's kind of sad that she's not there because, what's going to happen to her? She's just going to be on a sad banner on her own later, and it's going to be completely out of place. I think she has, well, not great synergy with the entire team, but at least good synergy with Trey, and she can work well with the rest of the team, but just not perfectly. It's kind of a shame that she's not there.
Yeah, she's a pretty good breaker. She
Yeah.
was, I guess, technically speaking, she's probably the best breaker in the entire game because she's a 90% spirit breaker and an 89 defense breaker. So she's
Oh,
the.
was
Mhm.
that 88 breaker for the defense? I thought it was 88.
It's she's got this is the unit right here. She's got her Magnus for 89,
Ah,
89,
okay.
and then the SLB gives you the 90 spirit break. So you can do the
Got it.
SLB for 90 spirit, and then the Magnus for 89 defense, and then she's got the 150 imperils and all that to multiple elements,
Mhm.
and overall, yeah, she was a pretty good unit. Pretty good breaker. Had a few other things. She was Blessing of the Crystal, so she goes along with the whole Vermilion Ace team if you go for that.
The only thing she doesn't have that she kind of needs is she doesn't have a light imperil to go with Ace.
Yeah. Doesn't Ace do you recall by memory his personal best light in peril, how much it is? Is it just 130 or is it higher?
I think it's 130, but let me check real quick because I got him here in a team somewhere.
Okay. But yeah, it's just weird that she's not here because these are the only Type Zero events. So unless, like you said, they just stick her on an off banner event, like they add her to the Final Fantasy IX banner or something, which would be super weird. It could happen, or they just skip her entirely, which would be strange because she is the best breaker in the game for defense spirit. She's the only one that does 89, 90. But yeah.
I don't see them completely skipping her. I think that would be a really bad move.
So I guess we're gonna see her during like the Type Zero event or something, or the Final Fantasy IX event or something very very unusual like that.
Our favorite FF9 unit, Cater.
But to the units we are getting this week, um, Trey and the Awakened Rem. This is the 5-star version. No special banner, just the regular step up with a 5% at the end, but no perks or anything. And then the units. So Trey. So you want to tell us about Trey?
Yeah, Trey's a wind DPS unit. He doesn't have anything all that great going for him, but he's not a bad unit per se. Like he has a pretty good burst. He has a 150 amp at EX2, so that's really good. And he also has like kind of a little finishing move that he can use on cooldown on his off turns when he's waiting for the SLB. So there's something pretty nice there. And yeah, that's about it.
Pretty cool. He is Blessing of the Crystal as well. The whole Type Zero cast is, so he does get Ace's leader skill as well. But
Mhm.
like Ultros mentioned, he is Wind element, so it's a little awkward with the rest of the Type Zero cast because they're mostly light stuff. But yeah, he's a good damage dealer. SLB, weapon STMR with a bow this time. He does his own in peril, so that's fine. Uh, you know, he's a very generic trust mastery. But yeah, he's a DPS. That's really all there is to say about it.
Yeah. But I mean, he's not bad. He's not bad. Like we don't have much to say about him, but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that Wind is not really like meta right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yep, his damage is pretty high in wind. And then Benevolent Beauty Rem is being awakened, the old 5-star. She was pretty amazing for 5-star days. She is still usable as a support unit at 7-star, and then her awakening, honestly, in my opinion, doesn't really do anything for her. I mean, it gives her higher stats, so she's Neo Vision's base at this point. It saves you a Cactuar card to or a Crystal card to give her a Vision card, but like she's not going to deal damage. She healed good enough at 7-star, so like you'll get bigger numbers now, but you're still going to top off your team with 2 cast.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because I think she has Courageous. Not sure, but I think she's a pretty good healer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
One thing they added with the NVA for her is a 140 imperil for fire, ice, and lightning that can be kind of nice. But other than that, like, will she get quad cast? Yay!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the issue is like, other than really, really rare exceptions, like Golbez with the Meteor card, or the upcoming Axstar, which was probably a JP mistake. Mostly Neo Vision's Awakening these days are pretty just worthless, and Rem is mostly the same way. Like you'll probably use her on either a lock stage to crystal units only or a Type 0 units only. But other than that, like you're not taking her to Dark Visions or anything like that.
For sure, she's just going to be a pad unit to bring to that Type 0 exploration that everyone's been struggling with. She's finally going to be there to carry, and that's all.
Pretty much. But she does get her gear upgraded. Her dagger gets higher stats and more flat stats for her, and then her TMR gets. I'm not sure what changed, but it's getting better, whatever it is.
Yeah, what changed? Oh, I think maybe there's a 50 instead of 25 TGW. I think that's the only change.
Oh yeah, it was that 25 weird number. Yeah. So now it's better now.
Okay.
Something. And that's pretty much it for the units. The Vision card is, let's see, Besting Cater Bashtar. All right.
Not to be confounded with the missing Cater that's not on the banner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to get to him in 1 second. It's kind of strange they named them the same thing. But very generic series card. It's the same as all the other ones, low effort.
Yeah. It's a copy-paste card. You just change the basically the category, that's all.
Mm-hmm. And it's a raid event. Raid events are boring, but we're going to do it for a few weeks. The gear is whatever, not really being upgraded, it seems. So this is very low quality gear.
Never been used.
And that's the raid. Go in here and kill him for what is this? 2 weeks? Yeah, just 2 weeks. It looks like. Okay, short raid.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be making everything 3-4 weeks like they've been doing for the rest.
Mm-hmm. And here is the other Cater, the Cater with a Q. This is the free unit, kind of like Adia, etc. You go in here, you farm this with auto farm. 20 runs, you get an EX3, and he's a wind unit, SOB. He does damage, not great damage, but he is a wind DPS. And in JP, I did use him quite often for basically all the wind lock stages. Because there's not many good wind DPS that I own on JP, although on Global we've got things like Chizuru, which will probably be a better option on Global.
I guess so, but then he's also in the Blessed by the Crystal, or Blessing of the Crystal. I don't remember the name of the tag, but the Crystal unit. And he's been carrying my crystal locked fights for the entire year in JP. That's crazy.
His damage is, for a free unit, is okay. It's usable.
Yeah, I think he's definitely on top of the free units. Like, definitely not like meta breaking or anything that would be worth pulling for. But as a free unit, take it.
TMR and STMR, nothing special. Katana for himself, although he'd rather. Oh, actually, I didn't even know this. No, actually, this is better than the Dark Visions Katana. In JP.
Dual wielder.
Oh, it's a one-hander. That's why. Okay, yeah. In JP, I was thinking I always give him the two-handed katana, the Dark Visions katana. Why is that? It's a one-hander. Of course, it'd be a one-hander. Why? That's so dumb. Because he does not have the 8 times cap. So
He doesn't know.
So you go double hand on him. Oh, I hate design like that. I really do.
I'm so lazy. I just build them for the dual wield all the time anyway.
Oh, it works though.
Yeah, it works. It carried me through the latest like block crystal things that were somewhat hard because crystal is not very good in JP, in my
Mm,
opinion anyway, for the
mm.
units I have.
Oh yeah. In the EX stages this week, this for the clothing, it's global. For these stages, global seems to always be removing the special missions. So take anything you want; it'll be super super easy. And then there's the gear, 500 attack and magic for basically all of Type Zero. And then this one is locked to Blessing of the Crystals. This is the Gilgamesh fight from the exploration, although this is just the fight, not the whole exploration. For Kurisame's crowns, do you remember if this one was challenging or not from JP Ultros?
Uh, it was actually. It wasn't that easy because the Type Zero units, are very strong. Um, I remember following your guide for it too because I had no clue how to make it work. Uh, and you just go in there with Kurasame and he's going to do the job because he's very strong, and I'm doing air quotes for that type of content.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Kurasame, he is getting his crowns. I mentioned this last week. So he gets, his Magnus becomes a cooldown, actually, not a Magnus anymore, which is nice. Although it's not an Amplify Magnus, it's just like a stat buff, which is really unfortunate. He gets more flat stats. He gets 2,500 flat stats. His leader skill gets upgraded, and I believe this is a 500% leader skill for Type Zero units. Isn't that right from JP?
It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah, so he'll be an amazing leader for the Type Zero locked content if you
He
have
will,
him.
especially if you don't have Ace, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Overall, even though he's getting a ton of upgrades, honestly speaking, he's still pretty weak just because he didn't get an Amplify, and that is the biggest problem. He's only got I think, a 35% on his SLB auto amp, but he doesn't have a 150, and that just makes him really far behind the curve. Very
Yeah,
unfortunate.
unless you have him on a team with Ayaka, so she can give him 100, I guess. But why would you bring him?
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is they are changing his knowing tag to Kurisame's cape. And I noticed they did the same thing on Rem over here. They changed her knowing tag to Benevolent Heart. What's the reason for that? Was like knowing tag censored
It's
in
because
JP or something?
I don't think it's because it was censored, but probably for confusion because they both had the same name. And then for BB Ram, I don't know why they changed the name. I don't think they did in JP.
Oh, okay.
But I do know that they changed the visual for Kurasame's STMR. Instead of being like a little pendant, it got changed into an actual cape, and that was done way before this update in JP. I thought we'd never get it. Not that it's really important or anything, but here it is.
And there it is. Yeah, so kind of strange, but there it is. And again, he is a 500 leader, so if you're still stuck on the exploration, he'll be a good option, etc. And that's kind of it for the current week of news. This is the banner directly before anniversary. The anniversary stream is this upcoming weekend. So I guess they kind of expect people to just not pull on this banner, so they're not really doing a whole lot of effort on it. But
That's what it feels like because there's no incentive to pull. There's no like special vision card. There's no special armory ticket or anything. So it's just a throwaway banner, basically.
mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it for the global news. So if that's all you care about, that's kind of it. But while I've got StarUltros here, I just wanted to take just a minute to kind of discuss the like global versus JP stuff because StarUltros, like myself, plays both servers. So I was just wondering your opinion, StarUltros, as we're going forward. How do you feel the game is like progressing the way they are just more and more and more on JP and then global because they bring it over is really just heavily segregating units into these really niche categories. Like elemental teams for a while with like, Flaring Rain is the fire team, Deoxys is the dark team, and we had that for a while. And now they're slowly branching into these really niche teams. Like the first one is, Ace with the Blessing of the Crystals. Upcoming really soon is the Rebellion units with Lightning. And then we get the Esper units with Tyvis. And now we're getting the Companion category with Locke, with the 750 skill, which is stronger than 500. And it just seems like they're really pushing teams into highly specialized categories and really limiting units. I personally do not like this, and I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on the way they're doing it recently?
I actually agree with you. I don't like the direction it's taking because it's kind of locking you out of content. And I know why they're doing this. They want you to pull on the banner so you can participate in the game. But I'd like to just enjoy the game without needing to pull all the time to just basically have access to an event. Because sometimes you're going to have something that's going to allow you to go and pull through the entire content. But most of times you're going to need the banner unit. Like right now, what's the example? It's the Balthier Crowns. There is no way in hell I can do this. I can't. I tried my best and I can't. I don't have the units for it. And I don't know, it's really bad because it feels like you don't have access to the entire game, and you just see that new tag on the event all the time, and you're like, okay, well, I guess it's gonna stay there for 3 weeks, and then it's just gonna go away, and I have to hope to have the unit when it comes back.
That is funny. You bring up the Balthier Crowns and JP. I'm actually looking right now in this screenshot I posted a few days ago, and I found it. Hold on, here it is. So here is my Balthier Crown fight. Look at the turn count. Turn 149. Now, to be fair, I built an auto battle team, so this is not because it took this long playing. I built an auto battle team because this fight was just cancer, and it is strictly because of it was locked to gathering units, and there's like 2 units in that category that do anything whatsoever. It's like the new lock, which I tried to pull for. I used like 10k, didn't get him, walked away. And then Balthier, and I don't have Balthier in JP. So, yeah, I was using like Creel and the friend Amarant, and I can't really see because I took a bad screenshot. Oh, Vaughn.
It's Vaughn, and is that Cyan behind?
Yes, Cyan,
Oh
who
my God.
even after crowns is still straight dumpster tier.
Yeah, he is horrible.
And yeah, and this is the game as we go forward, is this kind of stupidity, and it's just like it's getting made even worse and worse. Like the Blessing of the Crystals tag, like, so for anything locked so for that one we've got things on global that make it a little better, but like in JP, the Crystals tag, like, if you don't have the brand new Ace, then that tag is just bad. I guess Bart's is okay. And then going forward, the Rebellion tag with Lightning. So the new Lightning, very, very strong. She's premium. If you pull for her, great, you're fine. If you don't pull for her, you've got like Cloud Strife. And that is the only viable unit of that category for the most part. I mean, there's some other small stuff, but that's mostly it. It's like these categories, they have like 1, maybe 2 carry units, and then a bunch of dumpsters. And like, if you don't have the good units, the category is just bad, and it's so frustrating that the whole game is being balanced around that. And it's exactly like you say. It's because the 1 or 2 good units are the brand new banner units, so you better pull them. And it's annoying.
Killing the game. Yeah, it's killing the game for me. Like I've been playing. Well, it's not true that I've been playing less and less of JP because I created an alt account, but it's just for when I'm traveling or not on my computer. And I just like, I'm bored and I need something to do. I haven't touched it ever since I've been back, aside from just logging in. But I play less and less, and I don't really invest like time in it. It's just open there on my computer. I get the login bonus. I do the dailies with the autoplay, and then I don't do anything anymore with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me too. Like the JP server is just it's so just not fun these days. It really isn't. And global. So this is kind of a weird thing for me to say, because on global, They are removing some of the category locks, like the special missions for these. And I have said before, I don't like the way they are just nerfing it in a way. Although at the same time, it's kind of good. But I wish they would take away the locks and rebalance the content. Is what my optimal solution would be. Is
Yeah,
to
that makes sense.
yeah, don't lock, because the problem is global is just removing some of the locks, not all of them. Like for example, they're still doing the battle stage locks, like Blessing of the Crystals only. But they're some of these they're removing the special missions, but they're not replacing it with anything, and that's the problem here. So it's good that they're taking away these horrible unit locks, but global is just doing that and opening it to everything, and that makes it completely a joke and forgettable. Like this guy on JP to do the missions was probably a little challenging, because the Blessing of the Crystal is not a terrible category. But on global, this is going to be, take Dwayne and he kills it by himself on turn two, because
Yeah,
there's
roll all the time.
yeah, because there's just no challenge whatsoever. So I wish global would fix the problem that JP caused, which is the unit lock problem in these bad categories. So I wish global would fix that, but I wish they would also rebalance it to a proper challenge level so that it wasn't completely face roll and meaningless. That's what I
And then
would
they
like.
still give us the rewards that they're removing, because that nifty 300 lapis could be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's just my, brief discussion about the game going forward, because it is right before anniversary. I guess if global is ever going to change anything major, this would be the time to do it. They're probably not going to, just honestly speaking, but it would be nice.
I mean, we can still hope. Like the one thing I'm kind of concerned now, though, is about the trials that we haven't gotten as well. Like, what's happening with this? When are we going to get Sheraton EX, or the third version, and when are we going to get the Alcua? Because that's challenging content. That's fun content that we could go and try our global units against. But now we don't have them.
Exactly. Yeah, the trials. That is probably my number one favorite content that still exists on JP, and that's kind of the only reason I even maintain my JP account is for the trials, because those are still fun. I still enjoy them.
But you say still exist on JP. When's the last time we've gotten a trial on JP?
Exactly. The Grace of Wind was during the Zidane banner, which was what, 3 months ago in JP? 4 months? We've had nothing since then. Yeah,
So I don't know what they've done. Are they just completely forgotten about them? Are they going to make another one? There's no light trial, but there's light leaders. There's no water. Well, every element's been done now. Why don't we have graces of all elements?
mm-hmm. And then on global, like you mentioned, the Sheraton fight and then the Biako fight are both, missing. When I say that, there are people that jump on me and say, "Oh, it came with the Reagan banner, which we rescheduled on global to come early." Arguably, you could say that. I would say, it came with the banner. The content should have come with it as well. So,
And not
yeah.
even that, but now we're past the point where Reagan would have been released if we would have followed schedule.
Exactly, and the trials and all are still not here. The Sheraton and then the reverse Chamber of Arms still not here.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know.
It's probably is giving a free unit, and they don't want to give us a free unit.
I know Sheraton isn't even that good. Oh my god.
SDMR is really great, though.
It is. It is definitely. And for those that are already going to ask in the comment, what is it? It's a 100% bug killer materia.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so there was, a little brief JP discussion. We are going into the global anniversary next week. The live stream with the fan event and all is this Sunday, I believe. So, you want to tune into that on the official YouTube channel, I believe. So, yeah. Thanks again for joining me, StarUltros.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so see you guys for these easy EX fights on Thursday. Later.
Bye, guys.